Good evening, Winthrop Votes. I'm Todd Sacco, here with my co-host and greatest producer in all the Facebook land, Scotty McLean.
That's me. We do this.
All right, I forgot. So what's going on, my friend? How you been?
Good. You got some people watching, but we're going to get some people. Wait till they start streaming in.
Yeah.
And then we'll take it from there. Everything's good, man.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Would we, as far as the show goes, are we too controversial that, like, local businesses would be afraid to, like, come on and promote there? Because it is Winthrop, right? And it's a lighter subject. Like, if someone wants to talk about their pastry shop or,
That's an interesting thought. I think that I know a few people I could ask off the bat, one being my dear friend Katie, who owns Katie's Kitchen. But I definitely think that's worth looking into. Why not?
I mean, like, we highlight them. Okay, this week we're going to highlight this business, and they can come on and, kind of a break from the norm.
Well,
right.
And unfortunately, sometimes the norm, right, is this ugly stuff that we bring out that some think we're too negative to bringing out, but others are thankful, and we'll just do our thing and let the people decide.
Yeah, we could bring them on first.
Yes, we can.
Do like a quick segment at the beginning of each show. I mean, it's not like someone's going to be on every week, But I was just thinking it might be a possibility.
I like it. I think I want to think through it more, of course, but
yeah.
I think we should do it.
And of course, they're not affiliated.
No,
with the show. They're not a sponsor of the show, so they shouldn't have any negative repercussions. It's a simple community service to promote a local business. It could be anybody.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care, even if it's one of our supposed, non-allies. It doesn't matter. It's a Winthrop business, and we want to keep the Winthrop businesses busy.
Yeah, they need an influx of cash here, so
yeah,
we'll see if we can't help that cause out.
I think it would be good, though. I think it would be a good thing for the business, good thing for the show, good thing for the town. Again, we'll do it first
again
before the proverbial crap hits the fan. Sometimes
that's probably the best part. Best thing to do it.
Yeah.
So you did, by the way, you asked me what was going on, and I think we should mention this is kind of an anomaly, but it seems the not kind of, actually, I think hell froze over. It seems that the Commission for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion actually was in agreement with us on the Flockhart situation.
As they should be.
Well, actually one of our larger nemesis, if I could say that right, was actually heard to say that the apology was BS, which I was happy to hear be said. So
good.
That was,
I mean, that's a move in the right direction.
100%.
Look, it's not like we oppose them on everything. It's not like, but the problem was they're not giving us anything to kind of talk about, both good or bad. I don't know what they're doing, but that's neither here nor there. They're a Winthrop committee. They showed that they can be. We still have to get someone of other like-minded on that committee or that council or again, here we go. Commissions, boards, councils, committees.
Oh my.
Yeah. Yeah. So
lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. So now for the fun stuff. I guess we should probably jump in a little bit here. As those of you who are frequent watchers know, and for those of you who don't watch that often might not know, was it last week, 2 weeks ago? We hired a town manager. Let's start there. Made an offer, offers accepted. There was a process. part of the process, what happened was we had an incident where a town councilor, Barbara Flockhart, discriminated in her use of language, and wasn't a question, it was a statement. She made a statement about the man's temper via his Italian heritage. Her apology fell flat. So that's kind of where we are now. In the face of that, during the evening that they were going to be bringing the candidate forward, Jim was going to be bringing the nominee forward for them to vote on. There was some public comment about Barbara Flockhart. There was some anger, some people calling out the hypocrisy. That was kind of my angle, if you will. But I was expecting to hear from the six people who call themselves progressives on the council. I was expecting to hear from them their utter shock, horror, and disgust in the discrimination, and they were dead silent. Well, then this issue went before the commission. The commission wants the they'd like her to retire, but they're not going to call for that. They do want a better apology, et cetera, et cetera. But we now have learned through a BOH meeting and that Mrs. Honan is not done. So despite the fact that she was silent, they were silent on the discrimination that happened right here in Winthrop. They're going to be bringing back up that non-binding resolution that has nothing to do with anybody here in the town of Winthrop. That's
it's the soup of the day.
It's
the liberal progressive soup of the day. They won't let go. By the way, the Italian man that was asked that idiotic question was a white male. Do you think Tracy Honan really cares about a white male?
No, apparently not.
I think, doesn't. They moved on. Now they're into the transgender thing. They can't walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. They have to move the script. Keep moving the script forward. They don't look back. Remember all the Asian hate symbolism that was going on? Stop Asian hate. Did any of them virtue signal that?
No, because it was so quickly found out that it wasn't white guys doing it. That was the problem.
But it's still, they don't care about Asians. They care about blacks and transgenders and maybe Latinos. Prove me wrong. I always say this. Please prove me wrong. Where have they ever spoke up about anything Asian? They won't. And that's probably the most minuscule population in Winthrop.
It is. So
wouldn't they be the most vulnerable?
It depends on your definition of vulnerable.
Well, again, most vulnerable term moves. Moves. It went from the minorities in Winthrop who are most vulnerable. It's Leonora Foley's favorite two words. She uses it consistently.
Vulnerable. Yes.
They are most vulnerable. And I'll say this, because this is going to be pretty much the topic of the night. The most vulnerable people are the children. I don't know how or why they're ignoring that. I don't know how. Children are the most vulnerable.
Maybe because white children grow up to be white men.
They're not helping the children. The minors. By the way, they're minors.
That's right.
They're minors. So we're going to get into all this because it is a hot topic with us, right?
Yeah. You mentioned the soup, right? Didn't you say that it's a soup of the day? On that note, maybe we should remind our audience of some of the soup du jour that we had to endure from one of our precinct councilors.
As far as?
Tracy 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah. I have a comment that I want to make about this whole transgender thing, but I'll do it at the right time. So, during the show.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. All right. So this is, we'll call this, remember we had Phil's Follies?
That was fantastic.
Now we got Tracy's greatest hits. So let's see. She started off. She started off with a bang. I'll tell you that. Let's see. It's never where I want it to be, is it? No. This is a live stream, so we got time. Not that one. I know. Here it is right there.
I got people from California watching.
That's great. All right. We're going to get a flashback now. Flashback to the former town council president, the virtue signaling Phil Boncory. All right, here we go. This is one of Tracy Honan's greatest hits. There you go. And let me preface this by saying everything she says in this ends up being wrong.
Yep.
Wrong. But she was so fast to jump. And this is when she resolutioned her way into January 6th because Winthrop had everything to do with it.
Right.
Right? If this wasn't one of the biggest virtue signals in the last 15 years, I don't know. So here we go. And now I didn't interfere with this video because there's stuff that pops up during the video. It's just the way the Zoom meeting came out. So here we go. Tracy Honan's January 6th speech to the town of Winthrop.
And on general information, I have allowed Councilor Honan to make a personal statement. The council has not, in the 15 years that I've been on the council, I've made any political statements or got involved in any political actions that were taking place.
But Phil was coming up for re-election.
However, each council has a right
You know how that worked out.
Of speech. So I am allowing Councilor Honan to give a personal statement under general information. Councilor Honan.
Thank you, President Boncory. Good evening, Winthrop. What I am about to read is a joint statement on behalf of myself, Councilor Christopher, and Councilor Ruggiero. As elected municipal officials in the town of Winthrop, we think it is important to address recent events in our nation's capital. We want to commit to the people of Winthrop that we take the situation very seriously, and we want to assure you, as municipal leaders, that we will carry on our duties without fail and always try to do our best for our town and our country. As you're all aware, there was a violent attack on our Capitol building on January 6th that included the desecration of the inside and outside of the building, looting and ransacking of offices, looting and ransacking of House and Senate chambers, and the deaths of 5 people, including the murder of a Capitol policeman.
Wrong.
We would like to condemn what is now clearly understood to be an armed insurrection seeking to
Wrong.
prevent the peaceful transfer of power from the outgoing president to the president-elect. Make no mistake, this attack was against the United States of America and its people. It has now been learned that this mob not only intended to prevent the certification of electoral college votes, but also to cause grievous bodily harm to elected members of Congress and the Vice President of the United States. The attack was the result of a sitting president and his congressional enablers seeking to overturn legitimate election results in order to maintain power. As verified by the Attorney General, Republican Secretaries of State, and more than 60 court cases, there was no evidence of widespread fraud in the 2020 presidential election. Please know that as members of your municipal government, we state unequivocally that we believe in our election results. This year in particular, we saw in our small town of Winthrop the tremendous effort, planning, logistics, and dedication that went into making our election process proceed smoothly, lawfully, and safely. We would like to thank those members of the town clerk's office, the countless numbers of election volunteers, and the public safety officers that made this year's election, indeed every Winthrop election, free and fair as our Constitution intended. While we must move forward as a nation, there must also be consequences. For such a violent and seditious act towards our United States, we must not allow this act to go unpunished. Calling this anything other than what it is, and what
This
our
is
Joint Chiefs
this
of
is
Staff
hard to
are now
listen
calling
to.
a seditious insurrection, and refusing to prosecute to the greatest extent of our laws, would only serve to embolden those who attacked our Capitol, as well as those who incited it. To impede any election in any way, be it by voter suppression, voter intimidation, gerrymandering, perpetuation of false narratives, or attempting to throw out lawfully cast votes by American voters, all tactics which have long been demonstrated to have happened throughout certain parts of this nation, is plainly un-American. In closing,
Certain
we would
parts of
again
it.
like to thank those members of Winthrop's town government, election volunteers, public safety officers, and most importantly, you, the voters, for ensuring that our democracy remains of the people, for the people, and by the people. Thank you.
Except if you don't agree
worried.
with those
Thank you,
people.
Councilor Honan. I guess I have
I
to
was
thank,
worried.
Councilor
Thank God she said that. I was so scared.
Well, it's unless you don't agree with her, then you're not part of her people,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
So that was hit number one.
Yep.
The January 6th, unrelated to Winthrop news or Winthrop politics or Winthrop in general, but felt compelled to basically lie, because that's what she did.
And by the way,
And the proof is out there. You can go find it.
yeah, and she was upset that I had made some noise about it, because I'm like, what is this? This is nothing to do with Winthrop. Why are we doing this? Do with the people's business here locally. The long and the short of it was, it seemed I upset her. I upset her pretty good, and then we'll be showing this shortly. She comes around and tries to do this again with this virtue signaling.
Well, well, I'm going to show the second video, that hit number 2, Tracy's hits, greatest hits. She's just compiling them. Her silence is another one. Her silence on the white male Italian that she doesn't care about,
That's right.
And again, please prove me wrong, somebody. Tracy, prove me wrong.
Phone number's on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, feel free to call. I mean, I would think that someone's telling her about this. You would want to defend yourself. You'd want to defend yourself.
I would.
Each episode gets hundreds of views in Winthrop. And if you look at the amount of people that vote, that's a 200, 300 is a good percentage of those voters. So
I'm thinking the membership of this is a heavy amount of people who are actually voting.
yeah,
Why else would they watch?
right. So this whole transgender issue comes up in this, now Leonora Foley puts them as the most vulnerable. They're the most vulnerable now.
That's right.
She doesn't refer to them as children or minors, because that's what they are. Now, keep in mind, minors, not of age. And I just want to read this, because this is kind of where it's going. And this, by the way, the school superintendent's she's put on notice again, because I know Foley sent her an email. Now, we don't know what her response is, but if you noticed, what was it? I don't know how many people sent me this article on the parents that are suing the school.
Winthrop or the
No, the parents in Massachusetts that are suing suing the school because they were talking about the gender issues with the child without telling the parents.
right.
So this is pretty much puts it all in perspective. If a teacher talks to another teacher about what they're sexually into or what their sexual preference is, sexual harassment, hostile work environment,
Interesting.
EEO. But it's okay for a teacher to talk to their kindergarten students about the exact same thing.
Right. On what
Think
planet?
about that. Even if you're a screaming leftist, radical, progressive liberal, think about that. Because they'd be the first ones that would be screaming if someone said, "What? So, who do you sleep with? A man or a woman?" Oh,
Is that a head exploding? Is that like who's the comedian that smashes the fruit?
Gallagher.
Gallagher, yeah. That Gallagher?
Smashing the watermelon.
Smashing.
They would lose their collective because they are a collective mind.
That's right.
But it's okay for them to talk to a minor, a child.
The argument is, though, that sometimes that teacher might be the only adult in their lives that cares about them.
Yeah, you know what? That's like saying, let's just switch it then. What if that teacher's the only teacher that shows an interest in them for another reason?
No, that's why they're going to show that.
You know why? Because children, minors, are the most vulnerable people.
By the way, we already have systems in place for that. It's called Child Protective Services. If their parents at home aren't the kind of parents that are willing to help them and are maybe bad parents, that's where the professionals have to be.
You got to watch them too, because if you watch that video I posted on the
Heritage
Facebook group,
Foundation.
yeah, there they have a woman who the schools called on the mother saying they weren't taking care of the kid.
January Little John, right?
And then the kid kills her, just jumps in front of a train.
Yeah, they
used DS. What is it?
It's in Florida. I don't know what it is. Is it Child Protective Services in Florida?
Child Protective Services. I think it's something else. They use them against the mother because they're in. There's a chance that they're in on that too.
Well, and since you brought this whole thing up, here's another dot to connect as we start connecting dots tonight. You have a sitting school committee member who refuses to answer questions privately or publicly or privately regarding her signatures on Lee Foley letters that essentially based the things she's signing on for are clearly anti-stop creeps from talking to kids. Right? Because we don't care. I mean, honestly, it isn't appropriate for anybody to be talking to a kid that they don't really know about their sexuality. That's just inappropriate. Doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, it's not. By the way, for those that might be watching this that think, well, what about if they want to talk about their two dads? That's not talking about their sexuality. That's talking about their two dads. And any trained professional would know that becomes a dicey conversation quickly. And any trained professional teacher, because I'm not a trained professional, but I'm sure a trained professional could easily redirect that question. I mean, that conversation. Yeah, you had a great time with your parents. What'd you do? Anything fun? Oh, wiffle ball. I love it, right? It's so easy to redirect those conversations. We're talking about gender assignment surgery. We're talking about their sexuality. We're talking about puberty blockers. The professionals need to handle this stuff, not teachers.
Well, they want the teachers. Suzanne Leonard wants the teachers.
She needs to answer questions.
People need to go to those committee meetings, the school committee, and ask her there.
Seems we're going to have to do it for them.
Yeah. All right, here's hit number 2 from Tracy Honan. When she tried to do it again, except this time it's about the letter. She wants to read it into record, whatever she wants to do. So there we go.
Council look good.
Yeah, this is the that's
Denise?
No, that is it.
Mr. President, if I may?
Yeah, we're going to public relations now, and then I'll get you speak.
It's part of the parliamentary inquiry. Can I still ask a parliamentary inquiry?
Sure.
Okay. Now?
Sure.
Okay, great. So as part of the appeal to the judgment of the chair regarding my submission of my resolution, I neglected to ask for a second so it could proceed to a vote of the council. So I'd like to ask for a second for my appeal.
I'll second that.
Thank you. So I guess we proceed to a vote?
No, we do not. I've already contacted legal on this to ask my authority on this, and I have received an opinion, and I'm going to stick by that opinion.
That you have sole discretion just to
Yes.
decide what is on the agenda?
Yes, I do. And it's been like that for 15 years, not for me, but for anyone who's sitting in this seat. I take my responsibility very seriously. I respect everyone's rights. And I do not think that is an agenda item that needs to be on a town council agenda. And I do not take anything lightly. I made sure I had legal opinion on it, and I did, and that is what I will stand by.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Point of inquiry.
Sure.
Would it be possible to get a sense of the council writ large in terms of how they feel about this issue?
No, it's not on the agenda. It's not.
We have this discussion on the next town council agenda to get a sense of the council.
Request it to be put on the next council agenda.
Formally requesting that.
Very good.
And I'll put it in writing as well.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, public relations.
Council writ large in terms of how
Watch
they feel
the
about this issue?
reaction.
No, it's not on the agenda. It's not.
Can we
an item
have
on the
this
agenda.
discussion on the next town council agenda to get a sense
Request
of
it
the
to be put on the
council?
next council
I am
agenda.
formally requesting that.
Very good.
And I'll put it in writing as well.
Sure.
Thank you.
Watch the eyebrows.
All right, public relations.
Oh, she was furious.
So first of all, this all we're able to show the viewers is the end product of all their work. This was buzzing on behind the scenes trying to get this together. There were several attempts, 2 or 3 attempts to get it on the agenda with Jim in the first place, or maybe 2 attempts to get this on the agenda, and he said no because it is absolutely not related to town business. She wants to virtue signal, and I don't know if we have do we have a recording of what's actually in this non-binding resolution?
No, she didn't get to read it.
Okay, so I know there's one somewhere. I probably could have dug it up, but the thing in there the thing about it is it doesn't do anything. They want to signal to their LGBTQ plus community that we're here for them, and in that resolution she says we stand against discrimination, and but they were dead silent. So the contrast for the other meeting when the next meeting up, when they talked about Flockhart making the insulting comment, she said nothing. She fought for nothing. Nothing. None of them. Underdog there, Mr. Aiello missed that meeting altogether. The one in Joe Aiello that come in to be the white knight. I'll like to see that on the agenda, and I'll make sure to put it in writing too.
Well, Jim told me you can request it.
Yeah, go right
I'll
ahead.
formally request it. Jim doesn't have to put it on the agenda.
He's going to formally reject it.
Yeah.
So, but there is
Because
a
that's what the
workaround.
town council president has the authority to do.
So there is a workaround.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
We'll get to that. In fact, the subject of the workaround, I think, is our next number, which is the I don't know if we're there yet. The Bill Schmidt comment.
Oh, so now we're going to move into the Board of Health.
Yeah,
All right. We rehashed Tracy Honan's, the
and she'll come up again.
Oh, she's definitely loaded with greatest hits. She'll do it again. She'll flex her eyebrows again and do all the body language, that cops know how to read. Defensiveness, insecurity, anger. She ran the gamut.
She did.
Let me put this up first, though. Because now we're moving into the Board of Health.
Yep.
This is the mission statement for the Winthrop Board of Health. It says the Winthrop Board of Health is dedicated to keeping the town of Winthrop a healthy and environmentally safe place to live, work, and enjoy. The board strives to enhance, protect, and promote public health needs, environmental protection, and quality of life for all.
What does that word mean?
For all. Remember
sorry.
that.
Does not
viewers.
compute. Does not compute.
So, where does what Leonora Foley and Tracy Honan and Suzanne Leonard, where does what they want to do fit into the Board of Health?
So the connection.
But where does it fit into this mission statement?
Only the sliver of mental health piece that they're trying to mask under this whole movement.
Public health needs, environmental protection, and quality of life.
Public health, mental health falls under there.
So now we go on to Bill Schmidt, who is trying to be, what is it? Here I come to save the day.
Underdog, another one.
Mighty Mouse.
Oh, Mighty Mouse. Yeah, that's right. Mighty Mouse.
He wants to be Mighty Mouse. So, but this is a little taste of Bill Schmidt. He has his own little greatest hits collection building too. This is going back to I believe it was episode 28. We brought this up. This was like 7 weeks ago, where Todd. Now, don't mind the camera work on this one. Todd couldn't sit still to save his life that night.
Not what happened.
But just listen to what this guy. Let me play it. There we go. Part 1 of Bill Schmidt, head of the Board of Health's greatest hits. Very cringy.
Yeah, it's kind of cringeworthy.
Yeah.
Hopefully it can be heard.
Let's see. Ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
The
and I'm
hair
gonna
and
hit
weight
play.
incident.
Jean Holgerson, member here.
Great. So we're all here. I didn't recognize you, Marianne. Looks like your hair is different.
No, it's parted in the middle.
Oh,
It looks nice. Big difference.
no, looks good. Looks good. I just,
Thank you. Thank you.
it just looks different. Maybe you look better on camera.
Oh.
Oftentimes people look better on camera. No.
Well, you've seen me in person, so you know.
Oh.
Right.
No, but what I'm saying is,
I think it looks lighter. I think your hair looks lighher.
yeah.
Jeannie trying to save
Thinner
him.
people look. I mean, you probably know this. TV tends to make people look heavier.
Oh, God.
Right.
So if you're thin, you're made for TV
If you're fat, you're not.
because it
Hey.
reflects well on people who are thin.
Hey, he's fat
So that
shaming.
probably benefits you, Mary.
Okay.
Since I can lose a few times. Okay. So initially,
So many microaggressions. Yeah. So many microaggressions.
So that's a taste of the if you've never seen the guy or watched the Board of Health meeting, it's kind of rough.
Yep. Yep. Well, and this guy's, by the way, you'll I think you call him a shill. I'd call him a political
he's a
animal.
shill.
He is doing the work. The dots are going to be connected soon. He is connected to Tracy.
He's in it now.
He's connected to John Munson. He's worked against Jim Lettieri. I mean, he's clearly. And by the way, this guy's also been cited and he actually violated ethics. He got an ethics violation where he was found guilty and had to pay a fine when he was serving as the executive chair on, I think, the state board of health or something. And this guy's not qualified to serve on any board of health. Wait till we get to the video where they're actually talking about the resolution that Tracy just tried to get on the agenda, and she's going to try to do that again.
So here we go with this is an older meeting. It was after the one we just saw. So this is probably 6 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, right? Maybe even sooner, I think. So let's play this, and I'm going to make some observations in this. So here we go.
Sorry, can you hear me with this? Okay. I have new headphones, so and for me it was important. I know that it doesn't seem like it's at our door, but I did hear we did raise the pride flag last year in town hall. I did hear there was pushback against that.
This is the Board of Health meeting.
That's right. No.
What does this have to do with the Board of Health meeting? Leonora Foley, her, she'll cow to anybody to be heard. What is that all about? That's like she will go anywhere to be heard. So she's talking to the Board of Health about the flag. Okay.
So for me, it's like having the town be proactive instead of reactive. This is happening in other states. Some people, in our neighborhood support some of those.
At this point, Bill Schmidt, correct me if I'm wrong, Todd, should step in and say, what does this have to do with the Board of Health?
Oh.
As the leader of that committee or that board,
He's the chairman.
the chairman of that board, he should step in and say, what does this have to do with the Board of Health and Winthrop? There's nothing, but he's allowing this.
Yep. He should
This
be recalled.
shill. He's a liberal shill who leads, he's the chairman of the Board of Health, and he's proving to be a total shill for these ladies. Absolute shill.
Yep.
Things that are coming up, those bills. Maybe it's not happening here, but I think the mental health of
There it is.
LGBTQ.
All right. Maybe it's not happening here. This is from Leonora Foley. Maybe it's not happening here. Her own words. Her own words. So she doesn't know.
Maybe.
She has no facts. She has nothing to base this on.
Let's play a different angle for a second, Scott. I mean, if it is happening here, statistically, how many is it in our children, by the way, because they're the most vulnerable, versus how many children
Minors.
minors, right? And versus how many minors, and we'll get to this number, in Winthrop have had issues with being institutionalized, suicidal ideations because of the pandemic and because of policies that Bill Schmidt vehemently supported, masking them and keeping them out of school.
Right.
This guy's on the Board of Health. On God's green earth, where did we go wrong? Sorry, go ahead.
So she admits herself, Queen Leonora admits herself, maybe it's not happening here. But if you ask her at that town hall meeting where she basically called you a racist.
That's right, racist. Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Oh, she was all positive about it then.
Yes.
She's all positive, but she has no facts. Tracy Honan, no statistics, no facts. Suzanne Leonard, no statistics, no facts. They won't answer questions. They're just reading the script, and the Borg, like I said, the collective. They all move together. So, Leonora Foley just said, maybe it's not happening here. I wonder if she'll go and like Julie Pringles Wallace went and changed. She edited the comment that she made about the white Italian men.
Try to erase
I wonder if Leonora Foley, she, her, is going to change something. Well, I misspoke. There we go.
Children, especially, is affected by this deeply, and I think it means a lot for the town to be able to say that they don't support othering of
othering.
It'd be nice for the town to say they don't support. So she wants everybody.
Where was she when they othered the Italian guy?
She wasn't.
LGBTQ families and children, and that we'll just try our best to serve them the way they need to be served and helped, because some of the legislation coming out is just so damaging, like not letting children choose their gender identity.
How old? Hi, I'm 3.
Minors.
Hi, I'm 7. I want to choose my gender identity.
This is almost This is almost predatorish.
I don't think it's almost. I think it is.
These are minors. And Leonora Foley, she, her, wants them to just be able to come out and say whatever they are. I've said it before, I'll say it again. These kids are just starting to understand Sesame Street.
And they're going to hear words like trans, affirm and transgender, and they're going to use them and not know what they're saying. All right? And
2 years ago, I'm sorry, Todd, 2 years ago, if I talked to a child about sex and the child wasn't mine, how do you think that would play out? How do you think that would play out? If I just talked to a kid, the neighbor.
What are you talking about? You're a creep. You're a creep.
Hey, little Johnny, come here, little Johnny. Now, I'm a law enforcement officer, and I'll equate that to I'm a teacher. So I'm someone in authority, right? So, little Johnny, are you a boy or a girl? Is that creepy that sounds? This is absolutely creep factor 10.
It's disgusting.
It is. These are minors. How are they letting these liberal lunatics talk to minors like this? And they think it's right.
I know, they think it's necessary. They think I don't think they believe that, though. I think they get that dopamine hit from all this virtue signaling. It has to be.
They gotta do what the collective tells them to do. The Borg Queen tells them what to do.
I'm refusing to believe the hive mentality.
This is unbelievable. These are minors that they're talking about.
That is
minors.
You can't. I don't even if you say to someone, "How do you feel about this?" and they hesitate, I question that person.
So here we go. Let's continue.
On identification, school ID cards, things like that. So for me, it was being proactive as leaders. So
this is the Board of Health meeting.
So thanks, Lee. So Tracy, were you?
Here we go. Bill Schmidt is Tracy Honan's shill.
This is first exposure of it right here.
He is her shill. He'll cow down. Whether he's afraid of her, whether he has a crush on her. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Well,
But he
might think
cows down to her.
She's thin. She looks good on TV, according to him.
Well, remember, you know, if you're
Wait,
thin,
if I
you look good on
air-quote
TV. Yeah, exactly.
You're thin. You're fat. Does that make it okay?
Can't be on TV.
You're Italian that gets angry.
Can't be on TV. Can't be on TV. You don't look good on TV.
Sorry.
There we go.
I know you, did you get any response there?
Audio's a little bad.
Council President?
Oh, you're kind of breaking up, Bill. Can you repeat that?
I said, I know you had reached out to the town council president and had you gotten a response?
He did call me. Yeah, I did. Yeah. So he did. Gosh, did he text?
Is she on the Board of Health?
She called in. She was watching the meeting on Zoom.
So what does Bill Schmidt care about what's going on in the town council and whether Tracy Honan talked to the president? He's the Board of Health chair, the chairman of the Board of Health, right? What does he care? Why is he getting involved in this? Because she said they're trying to backdoor it. It's exactly what they're trying to do. They have an angle. They're going with an angle, and people pay attention because they are coming at it at any angle they can.
They will not stop.
No, Tracy Honan will be heard. I demand to be heard. I am Mrs. Tracy Honan.
He sure is.
He texted me or emailed me yesterday, said that he's just had a very busy week and that he would get in touch with me. So I thought it would be last night, but maybe it'll be tonight or tomorrow.
Okay. Because I like the, first of all, we're all, every one of our boards are busy, so it would be great.
Did you hear him? Every one of our boards is in agreement.
Listen, hold on. I'm gonna play that back. Listen to what he says.
Maybe it'll be tonight or tomorrow.
Okay. Because I like the, first of all, we're all, every one of our boards are busy, so it would be great if you took the lead and it was something that all the boards agree on and support. Obviously, with the good effort to do it that way.
He's assisting. This is a Board of Health meeting, Bill.
He said
this isn't a private call. This is an official meeting.
She called January 6th a coup. I think this is a closer definition to a coup than what she was after. I mean, they're clearly trying to backdoor it. They're having it out in a public meeting that has no bearing, has nothing to do with what they're talking about. They're trying to make Jim look bad here.
What is he doing? This isn't even a Board of Health meeting.
No, it's not. It's
not.
Let's get this resolution.
Let's help Tracy Honan.
Agenda. Yeah, that's what it is.
This is a waste of the town's time.
It's a complete waste, and he does it again. We have another meeting where he does it again.
This guy needs to be put on notice.
Under the ruse of it's public health.
It's not, and we know it's not.
Of course it's not.
This guy needs to resign.
If you're not serving the entire town and you're singling out one group, by the way, this resolution doesn't take any action. I could see if they were setting up a support group for like-minded transgender people, as an example, folks who are transitioning. Here's a group. Here's some resources. Here's where you can find the phone number. That's one thing. That's public health. That'll fit. This is political.
Wait a minute. This is. I gotta put this comment up there. I love tater tots, but I'm on a diet for the last year. Can anybody tell me what they taste like? I want to eat vicariously.
What is going on?
That's a great comment, though.
It is, but it's.
I don't know if it's good or bad. But it's a great comment. Tater tots.
Oh my God!
All right, let's continue with the Bill the Shill. Bill the Shill.
You're a poet.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, because I cannot speak for the town council. I'm not sure I can issue a joint statement, or we can issue a joint statement within a council meeting. That's why I went the path of the non-binding resolution that I'll present to the town council to vote on. So I'm thinking that we might need to do this as separate bodies.
Yeah, no, I understand. What I'm saying is if all the bodies kind of agree on the language,
Sure.
then each of the bodies can independently, if they decide to do so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So Bill, I'm just not sure.
Here
Gene
comes
Hogan.
Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Here comes Wonder Woman.
Queen of the Amazons.
This is this. But now this is like the 317 mark. As soon as she's done, I think this is the right point. I'll address what happens, and you'll catch it or you won't.
How this falls into the Board of Health lane, I feel like it's more of a political conversation. Of course, mental health, I'm very concerned about mental health, but I'm concerned about, I see them a lot in practice. I see with anxiety, depression, people who had divorced parents, people whose parents are in war. There's a lot of mental health issues. So I wouldn't want to keep it at one category. I think we need to worry about mental health for everyone. I'm concerned about, and they're referred out to therapists, which they can't even get appointments for. So, I'm concerned about everyone's mental health, and especially those who boarded on, anxiety and depression before COVID. It's very, very bad. They are in a very bad way. So, again, I'm concerned about everyone's state of mental health, but I don't think we should generalize to just one. I think we should worry about everyone's mental health.
Now watch what Bill the Shill does. That was Jeannie Hogerson, correct?
Yes, it was.
She just laid it all out. We need to be on board with everyone for mental health. And she named off a bunch of things. Look at what Bill the Shill, Tracy Honan Shill, does. Watch. I'm going to actually back it up and you'll watch the transition. Listen to the transition.
Again, I'm concerned about everyone's state of mental health, but I don't think we should generalize to just one. I think we should worry about everyone's mental health.
So, as I was saying, Tracy.
So as I was saying, Tracy, he just absolutely blew her off. He laughed.
That's
Watch
called
it again.
walking
Watch it again.
past facts.
He like Snickers. So like I was saying, Tracy, like Jeannie Hogerson's nobody here, but she's on the board.
By the way, in education and licensure, she outranks him. She's the highest ranking on that board.
It's Wonder Woman.
She is Wonder Woman.
She's Wonder Woman. So, watch this guy. Watch what he does. It's unbelievable.
So
generalize to just one. I think we should worry about everyone's mental health.
So, as I was saying, Tracy.
He laughed.
It would depend on the language.
Absolutely blew her off.
Right past it.
Absolutely blew her off. This guy went right back to Tracy Honan, he, she, her, she, whatever she calls herself.
I'd like to ask him, honestly, what happened there? Like,
he laughed.
I know why. Why?
This guy's not suited to be the chair. Know why? Because this clown has been flying under the radar for years.
You know who put him on the board?
Who? Phil.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
this guy.
Connect the dots.
Listen, Miss Flockhart, you're forgiven.
Yeah.
I would take this guy's resignation
Over hers?
over Miss Flockhart's, and I'd put money into a charity.
Well,
I'll put $100 into a charity for LGBTQ kids in trouble. If this guy stepped down, I'd raise money for it. Just keep it out of the town council.
That's right.
So here we go. He goes right back to Tracy.
So I understand your concern in terms of political statement. I mean, people can interpret things different ways. Some people want to make an issue political, even when a lot of other people don't consider it political. So
what does that even mean?
I think it's important.
What does that
to see
even
what
mean?
The wording of any statement, because I think.
So now he's assisting her.
Well, yeah, and he's talking about selective wording, and it's like it doesn't matter what words you use.
It's the
action
issue.
you're taking is political.
It's the issue.
Yeah, you could fly. That's what these people don't get. They use it's word salad again. Let's use some choice words.
Bill the shill.
We
It's
drive
called-
the definition.
It's called identity politics. Bill the shill.
Yeah, well, he knows exactly what it is. He's not
Yeah,
fooling
he's
He's
good
not
at playing
fooling
dumb.
anybody.
Then
Yes, he is. He's very good at it.
Too many issues become political that shouldn't be political.
Absolutely.
they haven't talked anything about the border health issues or anything. Nothing.
So, I understand your concerns, and I hear that, and I think it's.
Bill, can I say something?
Sure, absolutely.
This is Mary Ann Dalton, right?
Yes.
Lee just mentioned about the depression and suicide rate of the transgender. And, as far as the Board of Health, we're here to safeguard and protect the health of Winthrop and making sure that, whatever we can do to help people to not take their own lives because of the transgender issues, which, Lee is right. The rate is a lot higher with transgender than the general population.
Yeah, if you play the numbers and you do the percentiles, they can make that sound like it's a fact. But the numbers far outweigh,
We're into helping people live and, trying to avoid killing themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think the wording is key.
Talking about what Tracy wants to read into
Her non-binding
her
resolution.
non-binding resolution.
Right. Because it just can't end up being political because we're here for health, So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Wonder
Yeah.
Woman.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's.
Oh, now he's like, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
It's not what you're saying, Bill the shill. It's not what you're saying. He'll agree with any woman.
He's afraid not to.
He agrees with anything a woman says to him. He'll go, yeah. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
They don't have to.
Yeah, you know what? Let me put this comment up. What about the suicide rate of veterans that saw action? Is it comparable? Right?
Well,
They don't care. They don't care about veterans. They're liberal progressives. They don't like them.
it's not politically chic. It doesn't give them a warm fuzzy.
They don't like them. They don't like the veterans. Oh.
I agree with that. I think we want to be supportive. There's obviously an issue, and I think that there's a way that it can focus on the mental health aspect, and less.
Right?
I can't.
It's the mental health of everybody, Bill the shill.
Everybody should find Jim Lettieri's email and send him, inundate his inbox with getting rid of this guy because he's dangerous for our community.
This guy is absolutely out of control.
The Board of Health has a lot more power than people realize. I mean, they really are part and parcel to why we were locked out of schools and masked and all this other nonsense and bag ordinances. And
Look at Wendy Millar Page, friend of the show. Average 22 vets a day kill themselves.
That's right.
22 veterans a day kill themselves.
So,
but do you think Leonora Foley, she, her, and Mrs. Tracy Honan and Suzanne Leonard care about veterans?
Of course not.
Evidently not, because they won't do a non-binding resolution for veterans.
Nope.
Who's vulnerable? A homeless veteran?
No.
Are they vulnerable population?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't know. I don't know. Ask Tracy.
Anyway, let's finish this.
The political aspect.
Yeah, it's called not mentioning the person's
So,
sexual orientation
maybe
or whatever.
Tracy,
These
maybe
people are
maybe
ridiculous.
a
Wow.
way to weave that.
Now he's plotting with her during an official meeting.
This is ethics.
Jim Lettieri, are you watching? Are you watching this, Jim? This is during an official Board of Health meeting.
You know, the council
This guy's plotting.
Jimmy started out like a superstar with that first meeting, setting the record straight about the rules, and now it's getting a little out of control.
This guy's plotting.
Yeah.
This is an official board. I can't say that enough. It's an official meeting. Listen to what he says.
A waste of time.
Bill the shill.
That
Let me back it up. See what he was watching. He says,
weave that.
Weave that.
Language together. I'd be more than willing to work with you, Tracy, on.
Yep.
This is an official Board of Health meeting. And he's telling her, I'll work with you on something that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, can we stop talking about it on the people's time then? Move along and do it on your own time.
Since occasionally I've been told that I have some talent in writing. But
I have 5 things to say about that, but I'll move on.
So I
I'm sure you do
I
too.
think part of it will be to just reaffirm the policies that are already in place. The Winthrop employment policies, the Winthrop.
So
Reaffirm.
So what? Put it on the town website.
It's like
You know, a friend of mine who watches the show came up with a simple solution. Mrs. Tracy Honan and Leonora Foley, she, her, and Suzanne Leonard. Put all these things on the town website, like with people, how outreach, who they can contact. It's private. Why do they need to put this into our town politics? It's almost now they're just doing it as a matter of principle.
one should not
School
try to get
policy.
in that mind.
Yeah.
Of not discriminating based on sexual identity or a sexual preference. It's these policies are already in place, and it's part of
They're already in place.
the statement will just be to reaffirm what's already in place.
It's a giant child's move, I think. And a complete
Todd,
waste
I
of
want to
time.
reaffirm, Todd, that I am the producer of this show.
Hold me. Will you hold me and make
I
me
want to reaffirm that I created the new graphics for this show.
If I ever say anything like that, just smash my face into a brick.
I want to reaffirm.
Oh my God.
yeah, and we also have a what is it? The Committee on Diversity, Inclusion, and Community Relations. Is that the right title?
Somebody just texted me, what exactly is the end result of Tracy's resolution if it's adopted?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
So why does she want to do this?
Absolutely. It makes her feel good. It's like when you post on Facebook and somebody likes your clever comments or piles on with you. It's a what do you call it? Adrenaline boost, a dopamine, the dopamine hit.
Dopamine hit. If you're watching on YouTube, or if you know we have a YouTube channel, go and subscribe to it. Copy and share the YouTube video with Jim Lettieri. Tell him he has to watch this. Like, this is what's going on.
I'm actually.
And this is what
I'm actually encouraging people to copy this and send it to the ethics office. This man is violating ethics. He's using the town's meeting to do his political business. That is an ethics violation. And like I said, he's already lost one. He lost one because he didn't report his statement of financial interests. So he was withholding his financial interests from the state.
Bill the shill.
CDICR, diversity, inclusion,
Community Relations, I think it was, that Phil,
Oh, God,
Phil put together.
this is painful.
Or at least I think that it was passed. And anyway, I think that if it's a positive statement, I think that's the
And Bill the Shill will be happy to help them write it
Because it's positive.
because that has everything to do with the Board of Health.
way to go. And then people won't be looking, hopefully.
Meanwhile, he just absolutely blew off Jeannie Hogerson's, a.k.a. Wonder Woman's, statement about helping everyone. And while we're at it, you know, I got to put this up again. Just read the last sentence, you know, or the last 7 words for all of the last 2. That's all you need to see. Winthrop Board of Health mission statement. Quality of life for all, Bill the Shill. Evidently, he doesn't know the mission statement.
Make it a political football. That would be, so, you know, I'd be more than happy to work with you, Tracy.
Said that more than once.
Okay. Any other issues, particularly, Tracy, that
Anything else, Tracy? Anything else I can do for you, Tracy? Are there any other resolutions, Tracy?
that you wanted to speak out on on our meeting?
Animal regulation ordinance. I think
So what's funny about all this, Scott, is you've actually helped us connect the dots. Okay. So if we could just go back a minute, right? You have Bill the Shill and Tracy working together. You have Bill, who worked with John Munson a couple years ago to try to help John Munson beat Jim Lettieri in a precinct 2 councilor race. You now have John Munson in precinct 2, despite the fact that Karen Chavez, for this particular committee, and for context purposes, everybody needs to understand, this committee has basically 0 municipal experience on it. They have 0 fiduciary experience. Most of them couldn't tell you anything about the budget, where the money's sitting, or what line equals what. John's a fine man. He ran, he lost, but he did get a good amount of votes. But compared to Karen, John has done nothing in town government. And so no disrespect here. Karen was clearly the better fit for what this council needed. But John worked with Bill the Shill. Karen worked with Jim. Those 2 things don't work. And so now you had the votes just went just as they should have. You had Tracy, Ruggiero, Hannah, Flockhart, and the missing one. Who am I missing?
Aiello?
Yeah, Aiello was the 5th vote to get her over the line, to get him over the line. So all the dots are connected.
So
okay?
in other words, they voted along party lines, not what was good for the town.
That's exactly right.
Not what was good for the town, people that are watching. They voted along party lines.
So,
all right.
Yep. So you have all that, right? Now you have all that. Okay.
Yes.
And so now we have this new meeting, this more recent Board of Health meeting. And just understand, and this will be said by one of the members. So this is a new Board of Health meeting. If you could bring that up for me, Scott.
You want me to start it? This is your video, so
Yeah,
you let me know.
It. Yeah, I'm going to play it. You just bring it up.
All right.
So
There
I'm
we
going to
go.
All right. Can you see, everybody see it okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's just listen up here. Let me know if you can hear it okay.
There was what the president had written us, the school committee, the town council, and so Councilor Honan drafted a resolution.
So here we are. You heard him. Councilor Honan drafted a resolution. Everybody already knew this here. This is after we just had a meeting where they sat silently about discrimination that took place right in their own town.
Which is pretty much a resolution, as she titled it, a non-binding resolution reaffirming the town's anti-discrimination and
Did he help her write this, I wonder?
This is the one he
Yes,
helped
I
her
do.
write. Yep.
Jesus.
All right. So you got that. So the rest of it goes on to, he talks about how there was a discussion at the last town council meeting. He talks about how it didn't get on and he thinks it should have got on. And he said, but they can, he basically said, but they can call a special meeting and have on that agenda whatever they really want. So the way a special meeting works, any 4 councilors can call a special meeting. And they need a quorum of 5 to get a vote passed. But whatever they call that meeting for, you can have on the agenda. Now, Jim and his folks Jim could show up and the other folks that would probably vote down this non-binding agenda or agreement, a resolution, could show up and use their council privilege. So their council privilege says, I, as councilor so-and-so of wherever, use my privilege to push this off one meeting. Anyhow, so let's move up here. So I just want to go a little bit up and so part of the resolution. So this is the part of the resolution here that is important to hear. This is so slow. Sorry.
It's all right.
The Google servers, TikTok.
That the Winthrop Town Council ensures all residents that regardless of gender identity or sexual orientation, we are one community and encourage and support each other to live to our highest potential.
All doesn't right? No discrimination, color. Did you heard that, right? That resolution, and Wendy writes in that Tracy wasn't part of it. Wrong. When Bill says in this meeting that he helped, and he offered to help her a bunch of times. So sorry. That's an incorrect statement.
She said that that's Tracy's resolution. Bill didn't have any input, she said.
But he did.
Yeah, he said he was going to help her write it.
Right, and he said tonight that he actually had input on this. He actually said tonight in this meeting, and I'm not going to play it. You can all watch it yourself. He said in this meeting, he told her to take out some language that seemed too political. And I had written him an email off the side, and I asked him, I said, you think taking the language out of that makes it less political? The whole idea of what he's doing is political. So it goes on to talk about calling for the special town council meeting, as Matt mentioned, and they want to encourage they again are trying to encourage the council to take up the matter.
Let me ask you something, Todd. This is a Board of Health meeting that he's doing this in.
This is again a Board of Health meeting.
Jeez.
All right. So now at 4 minutes here, this is when Wonder Woman saves the day. Everybody
Jeannie
sit back
Hogerson.
and fasten your seatbelts for the education that's about to go on here.
She's the best.
1000%.
She's the best. Wonder Woman.
Where's your invisible jet?
I feel like there's a lot of information, and of course, I'm concerned about LGBTQ. I'm concerned about mental health in general. I think there needs to be more in the schools. I was in there the other day. There's nothing on the walls. There's nothing for mental health at all. So I wish Meredith was here tonight because I wanted to talk to her a little bit and see what North Suffolk Mental Health is even doing in there. But I believe from mental health, I really think that we should be boosting that. I don't know who's going to do it and where we're going to have the money to do it, but I think we should be focused on the mental health piece instead of this. You know what I mean? I just feel
right. So instead of the politics is what she meant by that. Okay, now hold on. I'm going to get to the really good stuff.
She's the best. She gets a free ticket to the Winthrop Town Party at the Elks.
All right.
I'm going to leave a ticket. I'm going to leave her 2-3 tickets at the door. June 25th.
June 25th.
At the Elks.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's a town party. Everybody can go.
Yeah.
Part of
It's
the problem,
$20.
the people to be treated, they would have to be in East Boston Neighborhood Health Center. Patients.
that's I think as the board, if we're going to be addressing this, let's talk about who's going to head the campaign, where are the finances going to come. Let's figure out.
So she's basically telling Bill
the
the
show.
Instead of virtue signaling, let's put a plan together and get some action.
The mental health piece. I just feel like the rest of it is not what.
Look at, he's not even listening to. He's like doing something else.
But the mental health piece and making sure everyone's accepted, make sure everyone's included, and teach other kids to make sure they're included, no one's bullied, and all of that. Absolutely.
I understand. I understand your viewpoint. You want it to be all inclusive,
Right.
but I
See, Mary Ann's
just
flopping a
think
little
that
here.
with, especially the transition and the
Right.
transgender,
Right.
the health aspect of that is the fact that their suicide rate is so much higher.
Right.
She keeps saying that.
Yep.
Have groups and have support groups after school. So not only that kid feels like they're alone in the classroom, there's someone else to identify with. And I'm not saying this one needs it more than this one. Everyone needs it. But yes, like in the school, there's nothing. There's no after school programs. There's no, let's go out,
So what Jeannie's ultimately getting at here is, first of all, there is not, she's right. There's like nothing in the schools. There's no direction of where kids can go to get help, even though we have, on-site school counselors and such. There's just no direction for them. But like the bigger picture of all this is, what I'm most concerned about here is she clearly outlined. She says later on in this meeting, and again, anyone can watch it. We put it out on our Facebook page. We had roughly 24 kids institutionalized in Winthrop because of the pandemic, because of policies that Bill Schmidt vehemently supported, masking and keeping the kids out of school. I happen to know 2 of these children very well. And the suicidal ideations, all of this from the isolation is real. It's here in Winthrop. And our own Board of Health only has one person that wants to do something for everybody. And everyone, and the chairman is busy discussing a non-binding resolution to reaffirm what we've already put on the books. This is the definition of insanity, and you cannot tell me otherwise. Can't do it.
You said it, buddy.
I mean,
they don't care. Don't you understand? They don't care. It's
so
not in the playbook.
It's like you said, Scott, and people don't think this stuff is real until it happens to them. That's when it's too late. I'll remind people, Mr. Fulham in the E.B. Newton school would look at my penis, mine and several other kids, and we were in what, 2nd grade the most? When that's K-2. He got away with it. Bruno Maioli, Italian teacher and Spanish teacher here in Winthrop. I knew the guy was a creep. I was 17. I didn't know anything other than he was creepy. The way he would look at the girls, the way he would flirt with them, the way he thought this guy was 5'3", and he had the comb over, and he thought he was God's gift to women. I mean, he had 1965 Mr. Keller ties, the big,
Keller.
Remember Mr. Keller with the plaid ties and all that? Yeah. I mean, this stuff is here, and
imagine if those 2 had the go ahead to talk to little children, minors,
exactly,
about this subject. Talk about setting up the groom. Hey, that's a free ticket.
That is what is happening.
I know.
Whether or not it's actually happening in Winthrop, we can't say. And you and I had a little dust up with someone on our little Facebook page, a kid I knew from a past work life. He's wrong because he thinks we're calling all the teachers pedophiles and doing all this equating. No, we don't live in the equate world. We live in the real world where it is a known fact that predators have taken on teaching jobs. We don't want to wait until we have facts to be on alert. Because when you have facts, it's too late. It's over. The kid's been assaulted or groomed or something. We want to catch it before it happens as best we can. And Florida's law is one of the best ways to get that done.
But unfortunately, Massachusetts will never.
No.
Because they are a stronghold.
That's okay. Massachusetts.
Of liberal values.
In 25 years, Massachusetts is going to be just like California, a burning cesspool.
Oh, yeah.
You watch. It's coming.
Don't come to my state.
Nope. Well, it'll be mine, too.
Yeah.
Because you need more votes like mine.
Yeah. So, this is the Board of Health. This is the chairman of the Board of Health.
Yep.
I mean, do we have his email address?
We do. In fact, let me get my hands on that.
People need to start emailing this guy, telling him what they think.
Okay, so
this guy's out of control. He thinks he's is he the chairman of the town? All the committees and boards? Like, is that what because he's all encompassing, evidently. He wants to get all the boards. You know, it's like, what do you call it? It's like in the show The Wire, when all the drug dealers got together, Stringer Bell created the co-op. Right? That's what Bill the Shill wants to do. He wants to co-op all the committees, boards, all of them, and co-op them, and he's going to run it and tell them how to do things. Okay, you guys on the diversity committee, this is what you're going to do. You guys on the ordinance committee, get rid of Sacco, and this is what you're going to do.
Get rid of me.
I'm sure he'd want that.
All right. Hey, I just sent you Bill Schmidt's email in private because I can't see the post area right now for some reason.
So let me see something.
I sent a private chat. Yeah,
I got it. Let me. Add. Let's get rid of this. Here you go.
Yeah, that is Bill Schmidt's email. I would copy Jim Lettieri. It's JLETTERIE. Same nonsense at the end. And get some pressure to try to get this guy somehow recalled. And I can assure you Wednesday night at the next ordinance review committee.
It's a perfect example.
I am going to find out if there's a
way.
way.
Go beyond his position.
Yeah.
And he refuses to listen to Wonder Woman.
He ignores her. He ignores her.
Refuses to listen to her.
Yeah. No.
Because God forbid you make sense.
And I'll say it again. She outranks all of them. She is the highest educated, ranking, degreed, whatever person in the field of those three.
I'm a big fan.
They should be kneeling at her altar.
If you know Jeannie Hogan, tell her I'm a big fan.
I know her.
Tell her I'm a big fan. Tell her she got 2, 3, 4 tickets waiting. June 25th, the Winthrop Town Party at the Elks. That's an $80 value. 4 tickets. It's an $80 value. Is that
a lifetime of memories?
Yeah. So, and the first drink's on me. Wonder Woman.
That's so funny.
But good, thank God for her. Right?
Yeah, that's right. That's totally right.
And I don't know if she leans left, leans right, if she's a libertarian. I don't know, and it doesn't matter because what she said there just makes all the sense in the world.
I don't really know. I think she's kind of a common sense person, which means she probably unknowingly leans
more
right.
like an independent. She's like an old school independent, it sounds like.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. She's right here.
Yeah, she's 100% right here. She's apolitical too. She
help all the kids.
She comes from. Her father served. Her father was my geometry teacher. He was the best. Mr.
Hogerson?
No. Her maiden name is Hurley.
Right. Oh, it's what?
Hurley.
Mr. Hurley?
Yeah, that's her father. And her mother was the school nurse there, or did she do the teaching the nurse program or something?
Wow. All right. Yeah. Mr. Hurley, I remember him.
Yep. Yeah. Oh my God, I'll never forget the time he caught me cheating. He goes, "You want me to do a lead test on your pencil or something? Because that's not your writing, Mr. Sacco." All right, I'm busted.
Let's see. Can we get? Would she come on? Do you think she'd come on the show?
I'll ask her. I know she wants to be careful about her position. She doesn't want to make anybody look bad on the board, but I'll ask her.
Well, I don't think she would. I just think we could get more information because she sounds like she's doing the legwork.
Yep.
She sounds like she's at least doing the research. And Marianne Dalton seems like a nice person, right?
Yep.
But she said twice before and now the suicide rate is so high. I'm curious to see if I asked her, like, just running, hey, tell me what the statistics are on the suicide rate. Would she have an answer, or is that just something that sounded that she just hears it and
No,
regurgitates
she
it?
could probably get it. If you're asking about
But
Jeannie,
I'm saying, if you asked her off the top of it, no, Marianne Dalton's the one that said.
No, I don't think she'd know him. No.
But she says that the suicide rate's so high.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a talking point at this point, right? Because while it might be high, they make up one of the smallest percentages of our entire population. And I'm not saying that to be callous, but we do have another set of the population to serve, right? I mean, we have
a lot of sets.
Right. And we don't look at them. We're not supposed to look at them in sets.
No,
you're in your community, you look at them as a whole.
But they're separating.
Well, no,
they're isolating one particular group.
Of course they are. It's the political soup du jour.
And Bill the Shill's going along with it.
Because
although
right
the last two words in the mission statement with the Board of Health is for all.
Yeah. All what?
Do you think he'd come on the show?
Hell no. Nope. No, he wouldn't. You might have more luck than me. He doesn't like me.
Well, I'm sure. With the small town stuff goes around, I'm sure he'll get wind of his new nickname, Bill the Shill. And if you don't know what a shill is, look it up. You'll see his picture next to the definition.
Hey, wait a minute. Is that anti-Semitic?
Look at Kurt says. Kurt says, careful offering gifts to a board member. That's okay. It's okay. She doesn't have to take them, but the offer's there.
That's right.
The offer's there. Let me see. Well, you don't send the fire Wendy says, you don't send the fire department to a different neighborhood than the one the fire actually is.
I don't know what that means. What am I missing?
You don't send the fire department to a different neighborhood than where the fire actually is. I think she's trying to equate that to how you take the transgender kids and separate them from the other minors with mental health issues.
Whoa. Okay, fine. If that's what she's trying to say, you still got to get them into the professional's hands so they can be routed to the appropriate care. And it's not in the classroom. Let's get that straight. I mean,
yeah, this is, and let's go back to the beginning of the show when Leonora Foley, she, her, said this probably isn't going on in Winthrop. Did you hear that, Wendy? Did you hear what Leonora Foley, she, her said? It's probably not going on here, but, and if you missed it, rewatch the show. I'm not going to bring it up again. It's probably not going on here. Then what are you doing? What are you doing?
We're reaffirming. We have to reaffirm and gender affirm and affirm and affirm and accept.
And Tracy just wants to get another moment of glory and read stuff that she admits is already on the record. It's already in the books. It's already in the regulations, rules, laws, bylaws, all of it, Constitution.
I wonder if
charter. It's in all of it.
I wonder if in the back of their mind, these Marxists actually think if they need to jump on us now and block us out now because Trump scared them so much that they're afraid there might be a re-up of Trump. You know what I mean?
So Wendy says, yep, and I'm actively involved in the LGBTQ plus. At least you said plus. No, I have a friend of mine, good friend of mine. I went through the U.S. Customs K-9 Academy with her. She became a GS-15 in customs, like up in headquarters. She ended up marrying our K-9 instructor, who was a female. They actually met during my class.
Yeah.
And solid people. She hates that stuff.
Mm.
They both hate that. Like, take the Q out, take the T out. Like, they doesn't like it, doesn't agree with it. But people like her get shunned, just like our friend who called a couple weeks ago.
Right.
You know. So, yeah, I think we unraveled a lot. So we have Leonora Foley, she, her, says that it's probably not going on in Winthrop. We have Tracy Honan, who wants to read a non-binding resolution to reaffirm what's already there. In her words, you got Bill the Shill Schmidt helping Tracy Honan, running Board of Health meetings, official meetings, but dedicating his time to helping Mrs. Tracy Honan. You know?
And you got Wendy. Yeah, I'm actively involved in the LGBTQ plus community. Okay, I get it. But what does that got to do with this right here that we're talking about?
No, God bless her. We love Wendy.
No. I want to know.
I demand it.
Sorry, I'm just taking a page out of someone else's book. But in all seriousness, look, we've kind of run up and down the totem pole on this thing.
Yeah.
This is the definition of insanity, right? And cognitive dissonance. There's no other explanation for this. There just isn't, because you have facts put in front of you, and you watched, we demonstrated clearly how Bill walked right by them. And I'm using that as a figure of speech, but he just, when Wonder Woman was burying him with facts, he just ignored her. I mean, is that a microaggression?
It was so anyways, Tracy.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he did. So Tracy, back to you.
Yeah.
And he laughed. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is insane. This is going on in Winthrop. And the schools have not escaped our focus, by the way. We just didn't get to them.
No, we got a budget discussion coming up because...
Well, the budget is one thing, but the superintendent got that letter from Leonora Foley, she, her. And she sent that letter to everybody in town. I think the guy that runs Cumberland Farms got that letter too. I think the Paisans, it's not there anymore. She sent it to them anyways.
Oh,
she sent it to everybody.
Beebity bobbity boobity.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway. Wow. Well,
let's see. Wendy says, stating that there are folks. Let me see. There are folks who are here and allies to help if needed. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Keep going. Do you have dates tonight? What?
I don't know.
Nope. No one likes me.
No.
No.
And by the way, let's get on the side as far as the date thing. Yeah, I've been married to my wife for a while. I hate that date night stuff.
Yeah, let's just go out.
We're going out on date night.
Oh, we're just going.
What is that? Is it cutesy?
It's not.
Real men, real alpha males don't go on date nights.
You
know what they do? They take their wife out. I'm taking you out, baby.
Yes, we're gonna have some fun.
And you know what? You want to be a feminist? You can take me out too.
Ooh,
that's right.
I like that.
And every time we're at the restaurant, they always come to me, and I just point to my wife. She breaks out the card.
I love it.
I love when she's here you go. But I'd say I'm a kept man.
Yeah.
I'm a kept man. That's my sugar mama. Don't give me the check.
You can't. Is that her nickname, Sugar Mama?
Only to the waiters and waitresses.
Not to her.
Not the servers. They're waiters and waitresses, by the way.
Gotcha.
No, she gets a kick out of it.
That's funny.
But like I said, I've said it before. I'll say it again. You've heard me, Todd. Of course. There's never been more help for transgender kids in this world ever than now. Since the beginning of time, I can literally say since the beginning of time, there's more help today than ever before for these kids. It's everywhere. They can find it with the click of a button. But Winthrop seems to think Leonora Foley, she, her, and Mrs. Tracy Honan, I wonder if she goes by Ms.
Maybe. Ms.
Nah, she's a Mrs. She's a Mrs. They think that it's insanity here. They think the whole world is ending, and these kids have nowhere to go. They are they are the oasis in the middle of all the madness.
That's right.
They're the oasis because these kids can't do this. Hotline, suicide hotline, local. It's like an AA meeting. You can find a meeting anywhere, anytime. These kids can find help online, through a phone call. They can FaceTime people.
And you know, but putting all that aside, they're only going to seek the help when they want the help. And the most important thing, by the way, of all of this is we don't care, you and I'm pretty sure I could speak for you on this, if someone feels like they identify as a woman and they're a man or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not the issue.
No.
The issue is transitioning, first of all, can backfire, I guess is the word, because there is a whole detransitioning movement. There are people who transition that really wish they didn't. And some of them are men. So what do you do with that mess?
They don't count.
Surgery?
They don't count.
Well, right, exactly. They don't count. That's why it's not talked about. And they won't come out and talk about it because they're embarrassed. They're not eunuchs necessarily, because eunuch is when you just cut the testicles off. They've lost their penises.
Yeah. They don't matter. Just like a black person, a black conservative. They're just a mouthpiece for the white supremacists. That's how they label them. That's how they label them.
The science is hardly settled on this. We need to let it run its course. We need people to understand that an untrained teacher does not have the skill set to manage those conversations. However, they do have the skill set to redirect those conversations.
But the art teacher has the ability to create a nice poster and put it up in their room.
Absolutely. Yep. And you can put the closed fist if you want and say resist, or you can, paint the rainbow flag and say we love you all. We could do whatever you want.
My people inside the schools say everything's quiet right now. That's a good thing.
That is a good thing for now.
That's a good thing. So, yeah, man.
Another good one.
Yeah, 90 minutes, 92 minutes.
Hope everybody stayed awake and got something out of it, because this is the thing. We say it all the time. If you take care of it and pay attention to it at home, it won't infect your community. We're too late here. I tried, everybody. You all called me crazy. Now I'm right. It's here, and it doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
Yeah. By the way, you do like the new and improved Winthrop Votes live stream graphics?
Beautiful.
It's professional, isn't it?
We look like we make money.
It's professional. Yeah.
Your studio's better than mine. 3 TVs. I got a bookcase, a printer. Yeah. Not even a print, a light. You got Led Zeppelin pinball.
Yeah, you don't. What's up with your backdrop? You don't put your lights on anymore.
Nah, I'm moving around. I'm trying to figure out how to get the best view, because it seems my face is blurry, and I don't know if that's good. I don't know. Do I look blurry?
I'll talk to you off camera. I think I know why it's blurry.
That's not it.
I think I know why it's blurry.
Anyway.
All right. Well, listen, man. Let's wrap this up.
Peace out, Girl Scout.
Yeah. Like I always say, thanks for watching.
Yep.
Thanks for commenting. Thanks for participating. You guys are the engine that runs this machine. Without you, it'd just be me and Todd talking. And, Todd talking, me listening. But sometimes it's me talking and him listening. That's it goes both ways. It goes both ways. Ranting, I should say.
Sometimes that happens, right?
Yes.
But we repeat ourselves. All politics is local.
Starts at the local level. This is episode 37.
Starts at the local level. Well, it all starts here. You're right, and people need to get involved, and that's what we're trying to. Do.
Pay attention to the Board of Health, man.
Yep.
Pay attention, people.
Powerful board.
Pay attention to the Board of Health. This guy he's Bill Schmidt. Bill the Shill Schmidt.
Bill the Shill.
Send him an email. Tell him you don't agree with his tactics. He needs to stick to the Board of Health. And he's definitely on the radar now. Every Board of Health meeting will be watched closely now. This guy's been flying under the radar too long. Tracy Honan, well, let's see what she does. It's a case of grab your popcorn and see how this plays out. Right?
Right.
And, yeah. All right, people.
All right, guys. Thank you. Share if you liked it. Comment if you loved it. Go away if you didn't. I'm just kidding. We want to hear it. We want to hear it all.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next Monday night.